right, thank you for being back here on A.P.O.V with Vic Christian. I want to get back into this charged conversation. I want to ask a question. What needs to change now, and is there a change coming, or has it already arrived?
They said a change won't come.
Well,
Anybody can answer. Jump right in.
It changed. I think
change is coming. I think it is. How we will accept it, that's a whole other a question, I think. But I think it's definitely, like I said before, it's needed, and I think it's wanted. But how we accept it and how we deal with it, I think, is another story. But it's definitely needed, and I think Obama is definitely is bringing that. I think he's leading that, and he's trying to, but he's getting so much, I think, kickback. I don't know. I mean, I feel kind of, and maybe I'm not completely informed on the whole issue, but I just feel like he definitely is trying, but it's hard because I feel like he's the first black president, so he has to take all of that, I think, to lead the way for the next black president.
I agree with you. I think that the issue is that he doesn't have much of a backing. I think that the electorate that would probably support what he has to do are either too lazy or too indifferent to doing anything to support him. And what I mean by that is that most of the programs that he wants are for people who, when we were discussing, would be who I would even consider to be below poverty, or who you might say were income maybe 50 or below. He's trying to help people like that. A lot of those people don't work. Some of them never have work, don't have intention to work or whatever. He wants to help them. And he's seeing that where the power in the electorate is are the people who are actually doing things. And so he's changing with that understanding.
Right.
I think change for me, like, honestly, like, if I had to think about change, like, I want somebody, like, if my president, first off, because he's the commander-in-chief, he's the one that we look to for, the ultimate guidance, like, far as when it comes to running the country. I think it changed. Like, sometimes I think I don't want a robot for a president. And sometimes, like,
You just want him to snap.
No, but not even that. Like, but a lot of times, like, president after president,
You
they
want him
have
to pull
this.
a Vic Christian?
They got this. No Vic Christian, please. Be the end of his presidency. First and last black president ever. No more, sir. But, like, a lot of times, it's like when you look at leaders, you know what I mean? We don't have, to me, we don't have a lot of leaders. We have people that are leading people. They're not actually leaders. People that are in the forefront and ready to take on the burden in the position that they're in. I want somebody that's going to lead the people and be like, all right, look, forget everything else. The president got a set salary, $400,000 a year, right? Set salary every year. So he going to get what he's going to get regardless. But he need to put in perspective what's real. You talk about change, can he change his approach and say, look, I'm not going to come up here and read off of everything. I get a briefing every morning, right? I get a briefing every morning. So this is who I am, but look, let me put this aside for a second and talk to the people, honestly, and say, look, this is how we need to go about change. I want a person that's real. That's what I'm saying. I want some realness in the office. A lot of times we get fed so much information. The media feeds us everything. We got mad reality shows that's telling us how to be. I mean, you got commercials that tell us what to buy. Everything is so like
Spoon-fed?
It's just like we brainwashed. Everything is just, it's like you said, it's spoon-fed to us.
I'm gonna have to disagree, just slightly.
You would disagree.
First thing, change. The only thing constant in our whole universe is change. Change happens all the time. Obama being in the president's office is a change. What he's given us already is no more excuses for black men not doing anything.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Just him being in office, he's already putting.
Before that?
No, there was no examples that anybody you could point to.
Exactly.
It was nobody that you could point to and be like, he made it. He did something. He said he did the impossible.
Right.
He did the impossible. So what he's already done, and one thing change is fast. Change is incremental. He got in office, and if you've ever been in the workforce, any workforce, as a black man, you know how you have to be accepted. I think he's doing a phenomenal job and playing his position, playing his role, because if you get in there act a fool, ain't gonna be no more black presidents for a while. You know what I mean?
But here's I
feel
think,
you.
but he has done more than that because there are times where, under any circumstances, no matter what ethnicity the person would have been,
Right.
he should have snapped.
And
He should have snapped,
Yes,
but he hasn't.
yes.
But he has had to
Yes.
shown. You know, they said that he has to be Mr. Spock in a lot of ways. He has to be emotionalist.
Yeah.
And that sometimes work against him in some people's eyes because
In
they feel
some
like he
people's eyes,
doesn't
it
give a
does.
damn. But he has to. He carries
has
on
to.
100 times the weight that anybody else who would have that
Yeah.
in there because they already expect, you know, oh, this is how you're going to feel
Right,
or something
exactly.
like that.
But see, hold on. Let me say this
Well,
though.
okay, hold on. We said, what would you like to see outlawed and made a law? Now that you say that change is coming, I mean, you saying you want the president to be different, more real, or whatever.
No, but like,
how would you want the laws to reflect that?
Can we
can't-
start smoking weed? Can that be lawed in? Some people need to
She wants Snoop
relax.
for president.
Can we get Snoop for president?
She want Red Man in office. That's it.
I think in 10 years,
She want Red Man. She want the diggy diggy
I
doctor.
think it will be. It will be.
Could I get that? Because some people need to relax, you know?
But it's like, but let me just say one thing about that. I apologize. You said like we don't have excuse now. Like I hate hearing that sometimes when we talk about the black coach and black men. It's like we don't have excuse. Like why every time somebody do something we just lose our excuses? We been ain't had no excuses. Frederick Douglass was preaching back in the day. Look, you had W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King is probably one of the greatest leaders ever, right?
Right.
And that's what I talk about when I say about with the reality of everything.
But Martin Luther King was not the president of the United States.
He was not. He wasn't. He couldn't
And-
have been. You know why? Because he did one thing. The one thing he fought with that nobody else fought with in the way he did it was his heart. He fought everything with heart. That was the opposite between him and Malcolm X. He fought everything with heart. You know, it wasn't no
You don't think Malcolm
gun.
X used heart?
Huh?
So you
no,
don't
no.
think
I'm talking
Malcolm
about
X
in the
used
sense when I say heart.
So
it
are you
was-
saying Obama is the one now? Are you saying he's the one that's going to have to do this stuff now?
I'm not saying that, but he said we don't have a chance to. You saying now that we don't have excuses now?
No,
We
no,
been
no.
didn't
That's
have
not what
excuses.
I said. They don't have an excuse. You at night when
Failure
you talk to
with
your
the-
5-year-old,
we've been never had excuses.
when you
Failure,
talk to
no.
your
The act- what
5-year-old
he's talking
son,
about-
when you talk to your 5-year-old son when you go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and you say you can be anything you want, including the president of the United States, because that has been done by somebody.
Right.
Before Barack Obama got that. Before Barack Obama got in the office, when you say that to your 5-year-old black male son, you know you're not gonna be president though. I mean, you know, it's always you can be anything,
Glass
but you
ceiling.
can't be the
So that asterisk.
president.
Right.
You know what I
know,
mean?
you're not gonna say-
And to
get
be
that.
the
saying is
president
that
of the
the
United
attitude,
States.
especially amongst young black men today, are so lackadaisical and so entitled. They have such an entitlement as if things should be given to them that they are themselves a scourge on themselves in their own community. That's what he's talking about, and there's no excuse for that to keep continue.
I
That's
get
what he's
that.
talking about.
I get that. I understand that. Obviously, he's the first black president, right? He's the first black president. But when you talk about excuses, like excuses are just things that you just use to put stuff off and to not
But
to get
that's
things
what's done.
accomplished, right?
But that's what's
been
done.
happening since the beginning of time, and that ain't just black people either. There's a lot of white people that live in the trailer right now that's making plenty of excuses. You know what I'm saying? So excuses is excuses.
That
I
is
can look at people
excuses.
that are non-black for inspiration too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
most
saying? You know what? I want to
absolutely.
be this
Definitely.
guy. You know, it's people, revolutionaries that changed the course of history because they stepped out and did things. You know what I mean? You got
it hits
Che
harder when
Guevara
when
shirts,
that
you know what I
person
mean?
looks like
Things
you.
like that. But it's just, I mean, I don't believe in that. Every time it been so many things happening since the beginning of time that we got and we can pull from
So
and say,
it's
you know
time
what?
for us to step
Yeah,
up
like every
and
time I'm happy
continue
to have
to do
a
what we
black
gotta
president.
do.
You know what I mean? That's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. But don't say this is the defining moment in black history where we gotta. you know what?
major,
I
bro.
ain't gotta be
one
James
of them.
Bush drop.
We'll be back with more APOV with Vic Christian. Don't go anywhere. It is one of the most defining things.
Oh my God.